Hello everyone, and my name is Rima, where I will be your host for this book review podcast. Today we will be reviewing the #1 WEBTOON Phenomenon Lore Olympus by Rachel-Smythe. If you love Greek mythology, then this book is definitely for you. The comic is absolutely amazing. I am a sucker for Greek mythology, and so as always, I have to read a lot of things that pertain to it, and I will just be getting into a few of the things that attracted me to this comic. And the comic is ongoing on Webtoons right now. It's still going. It's into its 183rd episode, I think, and right now there is only one volume out for a few episodes that are available on the Webtoons app. To go into some of the minor details, the story starts off with Persephone, who's the young goddess of spring and the daughter of Demeter. She moves to Olympus to be trained as a sacred virgin. She's with Artemis in an apartment out in Olympus, where they live together, and sometimes they meet with the other goddesses like Athena and Hestia for the goddesses of eternal maidenhood. Well, they decide, her and Persephone and Artemis, they decided to go to this party. And it's a party where all the gods are gathering and they're just having fun. And this is where Persephone is captured by the eye of Hades. And if you know the original lore of Hades and Persephone, this is in a different light. It's not as gritty as the actual lore, but it's a beautiful story, and the artwork is just colorful. Each of the gods and goddesses have their own color hue and environment that they live in. It's just amazing. I'll admit that when I first started reading Lore Olympus, I was like, I wonder how this is going to play out. But as I got into reading the entire book that I had gotten out of the store, and I couldn't put it down. It was just taking me all into the actual sceneries and the moods, the way the colors are, and how the characters are portrayed. It's just stunning, honestly. And this is a story where Hades is just portrayed differently than what people have actually thought about him. And this goes into the story of how Persephone not only struggles to, what can I say? She struggles with her maidenhood and falling in love, who she actually wants to be around. It's a lot of drama. It's just so great. Now let's get into the artwork of this story per se. The artwork is in a very simple form, but it has so many beautiful colors and moods. It sets the perfect moods for every single character in this story, and the expressions are priceless. And I mean, I'll admit there is some language in the story, but what story doesn't have language? But I mean, this it's so simple yet divine, just looking at the artwork and the moods with the way they settle in this comic. Now, I'll admit, I did not expect there to be some very triggering themes, but I should expect this from regular Greek mythology lore, that there are some triggering things like abuse and drama and what every Greek god and goddess go through. There's backstories to all of the characters in this comic. I really can't say anything that wouldn't spoil this comic, because I don't want to give spoilers when there's just so much you have to actually read. And I think that this is a comic that has become one of my very favorites, and it's not often that I find a comic that I'm drawn into. But needless to say, I am a sucker for Greek mythology, as I've said before. And I think the first volume goes up to at least 25 episodes that are already on Webtoons. You guys have to find out this for yourself. This is one of those stories that you've got to let yourself be taken in. It's a very unexpected twist in all the characters. Most of the characters that you see in this particular story, you expect them to be portrayed in a certain way that Greek mythology portrays other characters. Now, some of them actually do take up to the actual Greek mythology, but most of them, it's an unexpected twist. Like Hades, he's not as big and scary. Well, he can be big and scary in this comic, but he's not as evil as everybody portrays him out to be. And Persephone is not as innocent as she seems. This is something I cannot go into too deep because it'll spoil a lot of things. But if you want backstories of all the Greek characters, or if you want drama, if you want things that are going to pull you in and you can never get out of it and you just binge, then I recommend reading Lore Olympus. You can find it on Webtoons. Like I said, it is the #1 WEBTOON phenomenon is what it says. And I guarantee you will absolutely love reading this comic. Now, if you want spoilers for the comic, I will be making another podcast just specifically for Lore Olympus, and to give a play-by-play on certain episodes as I go back through them and reread the whole comic. And if you, like I said, if you want spoilers, I will be making that podcast here soon. But I just wanted to give a simple review for Lore Olympus. It's dramatic, the artwork is simple but very effective, and it sets the moods for everything perfectly. And I promise you, you will not be disappointed when you read Lore Olympus by Rachel-Smythe. So, thank you for coming to my podcast book review on Lore Olympus today. And I hope you will go check out the Webtoon comic on the app. Just look up Lore Olympus by Rachel-Smythe. And it's usually on the front page of the app. And it's right there. So, please, I highly recommend, give reviews, leave comments, leave likes, follow this story. It goes deeper than what the original Greek mythology lore pertains. So, thank you for listening to this podcast. You can find me on Twitter at Rima Creates. And I hope to see you guys again soon for the next book review. Have a great day. Bye.